Because of COVID, a lot of the labor is actually a lot more expensive than it used to be. So some people come to me and say, I want to save money, so I'm just going to reupholster this. And a lot of times it's actually more expensive to upholster something than to just buy new. Yeah. So of course, if it's an antique piece or something very important to you, then we'll find a way to make that work.
From the grit and the grind to successful minds, live from the entertainment capital of the world, your hosts, Jillian Batchelor and Daryl Hannah.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Jillian Batchelor.
And Daryl Hannah.
And we are with Vegas Real Talk. And today we are talking all about just trends in homes and like remodel design. And so we have a special guest with us. And that's Kristie. Kristie, we want you to go ahead and introduce yourself. You're with Reveal Interior Design. You've done a lot of amazing projects for me and clients, and I love your work. You've worked for a lot of people that I know about. So tell us all about you. Who are you?
Thank you so much. I'm Kristie Schneider with Reveal Interior Design. I'm the owner and founder. We're just a small boutique company that does residential interior design. So love it. It's definitely a passion. I don't feel like I work when I go to.
And how long have you been in interior design?
So I've been in design professionally for 17 years, and my company's about 4 years old.
And what made you get into interior design? What made you say like, hey, this is the route that I want to go down. This is what I'm interested in. This is what I'm passionate in. Why did you want to do it?
I've always wanted to do it. It's funny when I look back when I was really little and I didn't understand what a designer was.
Yeah.
I was rearranging furniture at age 7. So I think I was meant to be a designer.
Oh, so it was in your blood. So Daryl, so one of the things that we see right now in Las Vegas is not just when it comes to real estate. It's not just like the price of your home, but it's also how move-in ready, established is your house. Does it look like a magazine, like a piece out of a magazine? Does it look like a model home? Because that makes all the difference when it comes to listing, selling a home, right?
Oh, for sure. Especially in this market. We went through so many years where it didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't even matter if your house had walls.
I mean, there are realtors out there that have never experienced anything but a seller's market. So now that it's changed, it really does matter what your house looks like. And the ones that are selling are the ones that are nice and turnkey, and those are the ones that are selling.
So I'll tell you this, I'm not really even in the market to buy a house. I'm really not in the market to buy a house, but a house came on the market. I saw it on Facebook. It had a gorgeous backyard, probably like a $450,000 backyard just by itself. And I was like, I got to go see this house. I went and looked at it. I fell in love. I wanted to buy it. One day on the market in the multi-million-dollar price range.
Just recently?
This was like 3 weeks ago.
I didn't tell you.
Okay. So, and multi-million-dollar price range, I pulled up, there was 4 cars ahead of me in this crazy market 3 weeks ago. And there was 3 cars ahead of me, 2 people coming in behind me. That house lasted about a day on the market because it was in perfect condition, you guys.
And it was amazing.
It was completely staged. It was completely remodeled. It looked gorgeous.
Well, to get you out to go look at property, it must have been amazing.
And then you guys know me. You guys know I can never leave my neighborhood. So I didn't pull the trigger because I love my neighbors too much. But I digress. So let's go back to Kristie. Kristie, so I want to know, what are you seeing in the design trends? Like, what are you seeing that is so popular right now that are making owners say, I have to remodel, I have to do this to my house? What's important right now to them?
So many things. I think homeowners are really looking for what you said, kind of the elegant look that friends and family come in and just say, wow, this looks like a model home. So I have so many clients that want a model home looking space.
A wow factor.
Exactly. Absolutely. I love putting kind of wow factors throughout the house when I can. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to do that. But if you just have 1 or 2 pieces throughout the home where it's kind of in your entertainment area, then your friends and your family are going to love it. So I love doing that.
I've always been so impressed with Toll Brothers model homes.
Yes.
Right? You walk into those models and it's like, okay, I want to buy it just like this.
Yeah, exactly.
All the
Don't
furniture,
change a thing.
I want everything. Yeah.
I almost bought a Toll Brothers model one time, and then I realized I was so enamored with this house, and I realized it was a 3-bedroom and an office, and I was like, wait, I have 3 kids, so that's not going to work. But that's how in love with the house I was, because you guys, the design is so key. So, Kristie, what is like the number one room in the house? I think I know this answer, but number one room in the house that people come in and they say, I need to remodel this room in the house.
You probably do know it's the kitchen.
The kitchen.
Yeah,
it sells it.
Yeah.
So what's a popular trend that right now you're seeing in kitchens? Is it still white cabinets? Is it white everything still? Is it still white quartz?
Not as much.
Okay.
Not as much. So we are still seeing some white, but it's usually mixed with other things. So Whether it's a small or a large kitchen, you're seeing maybe white on the upper cabinets and something like a nice warm wood tone on the lowers, or even a bright color.
Two-tone.
Blue has been in the realm for quite a while, and it's actually starting to trend away, but a lot of people are still putting it in. So lots of white oak is an extremely popular.
I love white oak. I love that on the floors, especially. Give me some white oak.
I'll tell you, I love that dark navy blue with the gold pools. Ooh,
but I feel like that's been in for a while. So is that going away?
So the gold isn't. That kind of antique brushed gold is here for a while.
Okay.
The blue, blue. I almost feel like it's kind of a neutral because it's always been kind of a classic tone.
Yeah.
And navy is just a really nice, warm feel. So you can put it anywhere, and you can put it in pops of color, or you can put a lot of it in. So navy isn't going away completely, but it is. Starting to trend down a little bit, but for 2023, we're really starting to see some pops of color, real bright, kind of 80s vibe colors.
Wait, so what
like
colors?
Oranges, yellows,
what?
Greens, stuff like that, pinks.
Yeah, wow. I'm really kind of excited about it. So everybody bring back their 80s hair and their 80s clothes.
So I have like a blush pink office with white uppers and blush pink kind of on the lowers, and then I have the grayish white quartz countertops on it in my office, in my home office, and I really love it. Yeah. And so, but I also knew that like a lot of that hunter green was becoming really popular with the navies as well. So like the hunter green, I was seeing like, I want to call it 3-tone, because I've seen a lot of kitchens where they have the white uppers, then the base cabinets are like a natural wood, like almost like a honey, like, or not a honey oak, I'm sorry, like a white oak, and then the island being like a hunter green. Are you seeing a lot of like that too, with some greens mixed in there?
Definitely. I actually just finished a kitchen project that has green and gray cabinets mixed.
Okay.
And it has that kind of hunter green, because last year, or actually this year, that hunter green tone was one of the colors of the year from
like Sherwin-Williams. Yeah, they always get that.
You see a lot of two-tone, like you see the countertops, like the island one color.
I'm not seeing that as much.
That was a thing, but it's not really anymore, right?
It is, and I am still seeing it on occasion. I think what is more popular right now is the cabinet change.
Cabinet change. So same color countertops, just different color cabinets.
Yeah, you don't want to go too wild, too many changes, because then it just feels like it doesn't have an identity.
It doesn't, yeah.
So you were saying that now with the brushed gold, which I really, really like. Yeah, so are we still seeing like big pendant lights over islands? Is that still a trend?
Absolutely. So larger lighting is absolutely around. So we're seeing that over islands.
Chandeliers.
Yeah, usually a little bit more on the cleaner, more modern contemporary.
Like even like the glass, And then, okay, so I always call this the jewelry of the kitchen. The jewelry of the kitchen to me is like your backsplash. I love the backsplash. So before, like I want to say like 10, 15 years ago, we would see backsplashes that would just go up to the next level of the cabinets. Now I feel like we're seeing it more trending all the way to the ceiling, right? And with floating shelves and behind the range of the hood and all that. Is that what you're seeing?
Absolutely. And that same kitchen I just finished with the green, it had the same tile all the way up around the windows up to the ceiling. It was a lot of fun.
What's your thought on the where they add the extra row of cabinets at the very top with like glass windows so you can see the dishes? And I know Pulte does that a lot.
Hey, I have that in my kitchen.
No, I love it. I think it gives you a little extra storage when you need it. Obviously, you're not going to get up there on a daily basis, so it's going to be for maybe holiday items or just extra things that you just put away. Yeah. So usually when I do that, I try to do some with solid doors so you can really just use it as storage. Yeah. And some with glass. So
that's funny that you mentioned that, because that's exactly what my kitchen is. We have some with solid doors that I hide away, like my Sensi's and things like that. And then the ones that have glass that have lighting in it, it's all for my decor items. So I decorate for every holiday. So if it's like Easter, we have some Easter bunnies up there and some eggs and foliage. And then if it's Christmas, I have all the Christmas stuff in the cabinets. And then if it's St. Patrick's Day, so on and so forth. So I'd use that as like my display cabinetry.
Exactly.
Really like that.
Exactly.
So we probably have a lot of people listening that, they want to renovate their home. They don't have a huge pocketbook to do it. So for price conscious people out there that are listening, can you give them some advice on some things maybe they could do that, doesn't like break the bank, so to speak?
Absolutely. There's always going to be a way that you can do something on more of a budget. And it doesn't have to look sterile or boring. It can still have some design and fashion to it.
And give it like a good punch, like for your house to like pop.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, one of the most easy ways of doing that without any price difference is paint. Paint,
there you go.
Paint doesn't.
And they can do it themselves a lot of times too. I mean, if they had to.
Exactly.
Man labor, if you know how to do it good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, okay, so paint. So I remember when gray was like a big thing. Gray. First off, I hate the gray walls. And I still have gray walls in my house, but I'm going to get rid of them. So then white became really, really popular. And it was, or actually, no, let me take that back. Hold on. It went from gray, which was probably like, cityscape gray was a big one. And then it went to the taupes, right? So the taupes, it went to the amazing gray, agreeable gray, all those, that were in there. And then now it's whites. Are we still in whites? Where are we at today?
I am seeing a lot of whites. I mean, at least in this area, it's pretty popular to do more modern contemporary spaces. So we are seeing more white walls and then more of that pop of color or texture with the cabinets or the furnishings or artwork or things like that. So I am seeing a lot of white
So
walls.
would you say okay, so I'm not a designer, you guys, so don't kill me. So I call this this look like boho chic. And what boho chic reminds me of, and I could totally be butchering it, so please correct me if I'm wrong, Kristie, but boho chic reminds me of when it's the white walls, lots of natural wood, lots of plants and ivy, and you have some sage greens, and you have lots of baskets and maybe a tan leather couch. Would you call that boho chic, or what would you call that style?
I would. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
is that still really popular?
It is.
Lots of woven, my daughters have the woven, dream catchers or something on the walls and all that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they have some cool woven lighting.
Yeah.
Bringing in a lot of the organic and natural materials.
Yes, that's what it is. Organic and natural materials, you guys. You heard it here.
It's funny too, because you get to see the most simple room that just has a purple pillow in it that just I don't know, it just pops. And that doesn't cost a lot of money. I mean, a lot of times it's the way that you furnish the rooms too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I usually recommend, unless someone just really, really loves color and they want color everywhere, which I get those clients too, but is to go a little more neutral on the big pieces. So if you have a large sofa, do more neutral. And then if you have a fun little side chair, then do something with a fun pattern, and then you can throw in those crazy colors with pillows.
That kind of tie in the chair, yeah.
Exactly.
So modern contemporary, we know, is super, super popular. That boho chic, we know, is super popular.
Boho chic.
What is the most popular, I guess, style or look or furnishings right now that you would do? Or even there's that luxe glam. What do you think is most popular?
I do see a little of the luxe glam. I think we're in Vegas, so of course you see a little of that, but not as often. I think the contemporary is probably the most common that I'm being asked to design, which really isn't super, super modern, but it still has kind of clean lines, but you can bring in different colors and textures and still have fun with it. But it's not that super old school traditional. I don't see that too often right now. But in this area, there's still Mediterranean, Tuscan. You still see a little bit of
everything.
So we're still seeing a lot of leathers. I like that. What is that? That's a cognac color leather couch. I feel like that's in everybody's boho chic house now. We still seeing a lot of that.
I'm seeing a little bit. Yeah, I think there is always a nice mix of leather and fabric with furnishings, so that you get the texture difference. And then with our heat, it's helpful to have that.
Have you ever refused to design someone's house?
This is a good one.
Wow.
Okay, tell us why.
Now,
you don't have to tell us
what would
who.
cause you to say no to design?
I am not designing your house. Sorry, buddy. No.
I mean, there's multiple reasons. One just might be availability. Two might be just they're asking for a style that I don't feel confident in. That's usually not the case because I do work in different styles. I don't push my personal style onto my clients.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel you can deliver what they're really wanting, then you'd rather just say no.
Then I'd rather recommend
sense.
them to a friend that is more kind of in that realm.
Or have you ever had a really difficult client or a client that was like, I want all this and my budget's $10,000, and you're like, yeah, it's not going to happen.
I try to be as honest and transparent with my clients from the very first phone call because it's only fair to everyone at
Setting
that point.
proper expectations. We do the same thing in real estate, so it's important.
So we had a client, Kristie and I, because she has designed for multiple clients of mine, and I loved this. They did a beautiful, if you remember, like almost like a blue veined granite, and we did it on the backsplash, floor to ceiling, or counter height to ceiling, and it was gorgeous because this kitchen had gray cabinets. And we did this gorgeous blue. I can't even describe how it was. Wow. But the veins went all the way up and had some golds in it.
It was solid piece of granite.
Yeah, and it had some golds and some browns and some whites, but a lot of blue veining. And it was a showpiece. It was a multi-million-dollar house, you guys. Probably today we're somewhere around $11 million, and it was just a showpiece. Wow. But my favorite thing that you did in that house, and I want you to talk about the countertop too that we put on the wall, but She did this feature wall where you walked in and it was floor to ceiling wall. And it had all these different wood pieces, like linear wood
different
pieces
sizes
that were
sticking out.
Yep, sticking out.
Yeah.
And then she backlit a lot of them, not all of them, but there was a lot of backlit lighting behind it. And it was just like a showpiece. You walked in, you were like, wow.
Yeah.
Like you were just taken aback.
Toll Brothers does that a lot with it. They'll pick a few walls and just do these crazy things that you're just like, oh my God.
And how'd you come up with that? Or like, where are you finding these like edgy, but also really cool? That was a very contemporary modern house.
It was definitely modern, mid-century modern feel. That particular wall was so much fun to work with. So it was a stairwell wall, which was like 2 stories high.
Yeah.
So it was like tall.
It was very
floor to ceiling.
tall. It was like 20 feet or so. So it's extruded metal. And then it had walnut and LED strips kind of just thrown throughout on the whole wall.
Wow.
So it was really cool to play with the texture and the lighting. So it was kind of a nightlight in the evenings.
I had a friend that literally took 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x8s, cut them all different sizes and just started stacking them.
Yeah.
And it was so simple, but it looked amazing.
Cool.
Absolutely.
And he
It's
just
all about
put them all up in his
execution.
garage, but it was, and then he stained them all and painted them and then started putting them together like stone and stacked them. They were sticking out different lengths, but it was amazing.
I love it. So, Kristie, have you, okay, this is another one that I still love, but I have not been able to incorporate it into my own house. But I really love the live edge dining room tables. And I think you did one in that same multi-million-dollar house we were talking about. And the long, linear, live edge dining room tables. And so some people even do where they like epoxy coat part of it. Is that what it's called? Or like where they do
It's got a
epoxy?
vein going through it.
Yeah, and it looks like,
With
so
like
it's
a
actually like
color.
slab of wood that gets cut. And
They
the edges are
separate
all
it.
rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you still seeing a lot of live edge wood tables, even coffee tables? I see them end tables.
I am, and I think that kind of goes with the boho chic because
Yeah.
it's that organic,
organic,
wood, warmth. And you're seeing that in all styles. So that was in more of a mid-century modern home, which I don't think back in the day you would see that. You're seeing it in more traditional. You're seeing it in more contemporary spaces. So it is quite popular right now. I think it's gorgeous because of the natural
How
element.
expensive is that? Are they pretty expensive?
Oh, gosh.
They don't have to be that crazy. They really don't.
But
It
I've
just
seen
depends on
them-
how large your table is.
Well, and what type of wood, right? And because some of it's like sourced directly from rainforests, like all over the world, like Costa Rica. So I've seen them anywhere from a couple $1,000s. So I've had some clients who have spent $20,000 on a long, but it's like a gorgeous piece. It's like they sliced, some people are like, oh no, they're cutting down the rainforest. But I think some of it
I saw a desk one time, and it kind of goes with what you're saying as far as it depends on the wood. And this desk was like $100,000. And I was like, why is that thing $100,000?
Yeah.
The guy's like, because this wood is actually the root of a tree from like Africa or something.
Wow.
Goodness.
And it was all stuck together and, but it looked amazing, but it was just because of the wood. It was that kind of wood. It was rare.
So even in my cabin in Duck Creek, I have a very modern cabin in Duck Creek, but we have a lot of I have end tables that are that natural wood. I have a desk upstairs that's that natural wood. I have a little actual funky piece cut out in one of our guest bedrooms. It's like an end table, side table. I love that. So you're right. We are seeing that in all different types of different styles of homes. Yes. So another thing I want to talk about, and I don't know why, I don't know if it's like post-COVID, but I have a ton of friends starting over and having babies. And you are a new mother yourself with a little 18-month-old girl. So she is 15 months. Oh, I was so close, you guys. Okay. So I want to talk nurseries for a second, because when my kids were little, like if you had a boy, it was like a sports theme room, or it was like a car themed room. If you had a girl, it was like pink
Star
and
Wars.
butterflies and all that. Yeah. But now I'm seeing the nurseries are really cute. A lot of them are very neutral tones. I'm noticing a lot of creams, beiges, whites, grays, like they'll have all the different natural stuffed animals. And I just think that's so pretty. Are you seeing that as like a trend for nurseries?
I am. That's exactly it. So a lot more neutral, and then just that splash of color. I did it in my own daughter's nursery. So she's got gray walls, 2 different tones of gray. And then we've got whites and pinks and purples and stuff of thrown in there. So it's not like in your face, I have a girl.
Yeah.
But it's still really
But it's
pretty.
like that kind of understated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, if there was a client that had just a minimal budget, but they really wanted to make an impact, would you have them, say, remodel an entire room? Would you have them just remodel portions of it? Would you have them refurnish it? Like, where do you think the biggest impact of their money would go?
Because of COVID, a lot of the labor is actually a lot more expensive than it used to be. So some people come to me and say, I want to save money, so I'm just going to reupholster this. And a lot of times it's actually more expensive to upholster something than to just buy new.
Yeah.
So of course, if it's an antique piece or something very important to you, then we'll find a way to make that work. But a lot of times it's just buying new. So I'm finding a lot of different ways that you can kind of be economical with how you want to remodel a room, whether it's salvaging as many of your existing pieces and just painting them, or putting new hardware on them to just give them new life.
Yeah.
And then just throwing in a few new pieces that are, just maybe make it a little more functional for you.
And then maybe, like you said, you could just you could paint the interior of your home yourself.
Absolutely.
You just do it one room at a time, or that makes a big impact is a fresh coat of paint.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Right? I mean, it does for everybody, for resale, for just having that fresh new space for yourself. Yeah. Absolutely.
So what is the smallest job you would take on, and what is the largest job you would take on right now? Like if somebody called and said, hey, I just want to do a nursery, or I just want to do my master bedroom. Would you take on that job? And is it a space limitation, or is it a price limitation? And then what's the largest job you've ever done? I really would be interested in hearing that.
So I would say, as far as the smallest job, I would probably do, I'm not currently doing any just hourly, because it actually takes away from my larger projects where I really want to focus on the clients that have taken me on to do a whole home remodel. Yeah. So I'm focusing on that. But the smallest project I would do is probably one full room, where they have a kitchen, of course, kitchen and baths. I love doing those. But if we're talking furnishings, primary suites, or even children's suites, things like that. I do quite often, offices. Largest project I've done. So, it's the one that you and I worked on.
Okay, love that one.
So they're amazing people, and they ended up buying this home as a second space. So they needed to furnish the entire home all new. So it was, it took a little while, especially dealing with COVID. Yeah. But we got there, and it looks amazing, and you can find that one on my website.
Awesome. I love that. So anything that you think people should look out for, like getting cutting edge, being ahead of the trends, because I feel like a lot of times we see in real estate, we're kind of behind the trends, like when everything was gray and everything was white quartz. And so cutting edge trend that maybe people aren't going to see coming. I want to know that. What is a cutting edge trend right now?
So, I already touched a little bit on the colors. So I think a lot of people aren't prepared for how
we're not prepared for orange cabinets.
The bright colors, which I think is going to be really fun to see that coming back. Because it's been a while since we've had those bold tones. But you're also seeing some earth kind of feel. The more calming, organic feel is still being mixed in there. I think what I'm seeing, and it's going to blow up even more, is putting a little bit more attention to some of those secondary spaces in your home, like laundry rooms, mud rooms, pantries. People are really wanting to make those more of a functional and elegant space. Yeah. It's not, in laundry rooms a few times now, I've put in dog washing stations.
Oh, I love the dog washing station. That is one of my favorite things. So what I'm seeing too is a couple of clients that are really looking for that hidden pantry where it looks like a cabinet. You open up this cabinet and you walk down a little hallway, maybe a 2-3 foot hallway, and you're in a 10 by 10 room. And you're like, wait, I just thought this was a cabinet. A girlfriend of mine, Keisha, just did that in her house. And are you really seeing those hidden pantries? Is that another big trend?
I do. I'm working on a project right now where we have a hidden door into a whole nother room. It's not a pantry in this case, but
I love that.
The hidden spaces are really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, Daryl, you and I have a property, Dapple Gray. That is a gorgeous property. We have a builder building. It's over 7,000 square foot RV garage, and it has a safe room.
It has a safe room.
And it's going to be hidden. Masonry. You guys, it's going to be hidden, and no one's going to be able to get into it unless you buy the house from us. Then I'll show you how to do it. So that's really cool. I really like the safe rooms. Daryl, what do you really like in these trends?
Did you see the video that I put on my Instagram a couple days ago where those guys were skip troweling? They're skip troweling this big wall, and it looked like one big piece of marble, and they were putting the veins through it. Gorgeous. But they did 20 different coats with these different colors, and then they would splash white through it, and then they would drag blue through it and some browns and stuff. But then
I'm gonna have to see that.
They basically got it to the point where they were finishing it like concrete, but it got almost like Venetian plaster.
Yeah.
And then they got buffers out and buffed it, and it looked like a piece of glass.
Wow.
But it was amazing. That's I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because you really, owning a past masonry company, you really like when they get super creative in the details like that. Remember when we went to Peter Lick's houses, the houses that he was building, and he had these big, huge slabs of quartz or granite, huge slabs. They were 8,000 pounds. He had to reinforce the floor to put them in, and it would become the island. So all the edges on the whole outsides were rough. They were all different angles and stuff. And the top was just buffed out to be a nice countertop. but it was just like a rock dropped in the kitchen, which I freaking loved. I was like, okay, granted, those are $3 million plus houses. If you guys want one, we'll help you get one.
But even like in the houses, when you go into like up in the Phoenix area, they have those big granite boulders like built into the houses.
Yeah. This was a big one, just dropped in the kitchen as an island, and it was probably 10 feet by 12 feet or something. It was crazy huge. It was insane. So you guys can tell, if you guys can tell here, I like the big rocks. He was saying these are like my kryptonite rocks.
Superman. Yeah.
Superman. So I like the natural stones. I like the earth. I like all of that. So that's amazing. Now, another question I want to know is the farmhouse trend gone? Because I feel like I haven't seen that in a long time. What's going on with the farmhouse trend?
Slider doors and the...
Well, those are two totally different things. Yeah. So the farmhouse style is starting to trend away.
It's dead. We killed it, you guys. We killed the farmhouse style.
We all love Joanna Gaines, but
those big barn sliding doors aren't part of that?
Oh, barn doors, yes. I think she was thinking you were talking about the pivot doors, maybe.
No, the big, like, where you
barn slider.
Yeah, and
the track.
And the doors go back.
So barn doors are still in. Pivot doors are absolutely still in.
Love those. Love those pivot doors, you guys.
One in a project coming up soon.
A lot of front doors to these big houses have these pivot doors.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, it's just, it's a cool, substantial piece that not every home has. Yeah. So it modernizes a little bit, but you can do it in any style depending on the material that door is made out of.
Yeah. Now, what about the black, like, framed windows? Like, are those still in? Okay.
Oh, my God.
I love the black frame windows.
White frames.
You can just paint them, too. I mean, if you had to save a little bit of money, you guys, that's one thing. If you don't want to buy, let's say your windows are new and they're great and the house is 5 years old and you don't want to put in all new windows, you could just paint those. It's tedious, but you can paint the frames.
You can? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how long that would last.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not painting them myself, but somebody can. I've seen some flippers do it.
There's some amazing painters out there that can do it.
Yeah, really. Like you said, you had somebody make a wall look like it was marble.
Yeah.
Right?
No, for sure.
I mean, okay, so Daryl has a listing. It was a Christopher home, and she did, which I loved because you guys know I like the stones. You know where I'm going to go with this? She did the amethyst poles. Mm-hmm. The amethyst poles were like the drawer handles in all the bathrooms. So she had these gorgeous amethyst rocks that were for the actual poles. Oh, I loved it. I was like, well, very feminine, obviously, but it was a woman who lived there.
Then she did the Venetian plaster, and the walls had like little hints of purple in it.
Oh,
and then the amethyst,
hold it all together.
Amethyst stones.
Nice. And it was really cool. Yeah.
So have you ever done anything, Kristie? Has anyone ever asked you to complete a design and you were like, I don't know how this is going to look, and then it came out and you were like, wow, this looks great. They had a vision that maybe you didn't see initially until it all put together?
Before?
I mean, I always learn something every day, which is why I love what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, this industry, as well as yours, it's ever changing. So you have to stay up on things.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I do learn things from my clients or other designers or other, suppliers, realtors, things like that. I try to be pretty visual, so I usually can see how it's going to come out, but it is always fun to see the final reveal of the space. And
what about you get anybody that's ever because I know if my wife hired you, she likes dark, very dark,
like gothic, kind of like gothic.
Yeah, I mean she's got this. There's part of it is modern, part of it's
no, she's very
classic,
modern. Yeah,
but then she likes dark and
blacks
she likes
and dark
spooky.
stones.
We just love Halloween, and anybody that ever designs the entire inside of their home like that?
The entire inside of the home, no. I do have a bedroom I'm working with right now. It's a teenager who wants it to be that dark dungeon.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm going to play with different textures and still give him, that kind of dark feel. But
so I don't know if either one of you guys have seen Celine Dion's house that's on the market. So Celine Dion built a house in the Summit. She never moved into it. She went very dark. Very, very, part of the house is just black, just black everything. She went very dark.
Yeah.
This house is on the market for $40 million. And the funny thing is about her, now granted, I wish I had Celine's money, but she would choose a design, she would have somebody implement it, and then she'd walk in and be like, I hate it, do it again. So there's a lot of design work that was done 2 or 3 or 4 times in that house.
Without her ever even moving, ever moving.
And no, she still hasn't moved in. She put it on the market, but it's very dark. A lot of it's very black stones, black walls,
are the type of pictures
carpet.
When my wife sees them with the wainscoting and everything's wood, but it's all black, dark, and it's we're very. Me too. I love it too.
We have a girl on our team, Michaela, who would love that.
What about wainscoting? You see a lot of that?
I do, and usually painted. I don't normally see it kind of wood toned anymore.
That's old school.
Yep. So we're doing a lot of whole wall
designs on the wall with wood and the trim and stuff. Yeah,
I love
that's neat.
doing that now.
I feel like you've just spent a lot of my money, Kristie, because I feel like you're going to come to my house and we're going to redesign everything.
Let's do it.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. Yes. I still have that very classical feel. I really like coffered ceilings. Is that still a thing? Like with the white, I like the white wood coffered ceilings, like the design. Is that still in?
It is, but
Ceiling
it depends
treatments
on
are
the
amazing.
architecture of the home. I think
Yeah.
it's really important as a
That's
designer
traditional,
to
right?
understand what the style of the home is, and then how you design the inside of it. So coffered ceilings are awesome. I love the different texture when you don't normally get that, but it doesn't fit in every house.
What about,
Yeah.
how do you feel about stone in the interior of the homes? Like stone veneer that you would do typically on the exterior of the home.
Ooh, putting it
but on
inside.
the interior. Do you do any of that?
Yeah, so the stack stone, ledger stone,
Yeah.
that type of thing around fireplaces, that's still fairly
What
in.
about brick? Thin brick?
I'm actually seeing a lot more.
Oh, brick is really popular right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, as whole backsplashes, as
Yeah.
whole walls.
So my favorite is, one of my favorite houses that I actually worked on was a long hallway, maybe 80 feet long. And it had arches, but they were like arches going this way and this way.
Okay.
And it
It's all brick.
Yeah, I did all brick stone.
Beautiful.
And it was just, it was amazing.
So would you call that like modern farmhouse? I see a lot of people putting that brick in there where it's like still white cabinets, still the quartz countertops, but like a brick accent wall. Like what would you call that style?
Yeah, it does kind of pull in a little bit of that. I think you can mix it depending on what the rest of the finishes are. It can really kind of lean towards a certain style or another. So,
Because you can see brick like even on a modern
absolutely,
design,
for
right?
sure.
Just
Absolutely,
like,
Yeah.
And
I love
whether
it.
it's red or painted white.
Yeah.
I mean, I
love
have
the
to
painted
say-
white and gray brick.
I feel like I am jealous right now of your job. I would love to switch spots with
I
you.
love what I do.
It's gorgeous.
Go ahead, I'll take over your business.
Daryl's going to take over my business. You guys, if you have any real estate needs, go ahead and contact Daryl Hanna. I will be your new designer. No, and I've done a lot of design work for clients as well, officially, unofficially, sometimes being paid for it, sometimes just as a complimentary when we're selling them houses. And I would say there's a couple of times that I was like, don't do this, please. And they've been like, no, I really love blood red carpet. And I'm like, nobody loves blood red carpet, but cool if that's what you're feeling.
Yeah. To get them to
If
buy
you're doing
the
a
house.
red bedroom, maybe, wink, wink, 50 Shades of Grey. But if you're not, then I think the blood red carpet. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. From a real estate opinion, stick away, unless it's like a theater room.
Well, unless you plan to live there your whole life.
Okay,
but
yeah,
if you
yeah.
ever plan
if
to
you ever
resale,
want to sell this house, any very dark or bright colored carpets, okay? Blood red, green, dark blue carpet, light blue carpet, it's not going to be a thing. Now, I do have clients, just in her closet, she wanted leopard carpet. Leopard print carpet. And I was like, that's really cool. Now, when you go to sell, we're going to have to probably pull this up, right? Because not everyone's going to like leopard skin carpet in your bedroom. But it worked for her. And she painted the closet purple and did these huge silver and like beaded chandeliers. It came together really
which to
cute.
her was probably the most amazing closet ever.
It was. And
the
and
typical
she's
person
not
walking there
planning
was
on,
like, what?
she's not planning on selling, you guys. She's not planning on selling. But if she does, we're going to remodel that closet a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
Anything else super funky, Kristie? Is there anything super edgy that you've done that you just sticks out in your mind as like super, super edgy, super
You're
funky,
just
super
hoping
like,
that
all
that
right.
next client comes along and is like, let's do this.
Oh my goodness! I mean that metal wall. I really want to do that again. 'Cause
That
it
was really
so,
cool.
Or
so
something like a
neat.
different variation of that or something.
Of course, yeah. You always kind of tweak it a little bit because they
Yeah.
want every client to have their own
Unique.
personal
Yeah.
space. But I mean, man, I am so fortunate that I have amazing clients that I really get to like play and put some really cool things out there. And whether it's expensive or not, you know, it doesn't have to be. So I am fortunate that I get to kind of do that already.
around. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
obviously there's things out there that I don't get to do everything.
And Daryl, you and I listed a house, this was a few years ago, if you remember. It's back like in Section 10 area. And they had multiple color cabinets in the kitchen. There was red, it was all the primary colors, red, blue, yellow. And it was a very like artsy house, kind of down by the arts district. It has like an indoor outdoor pool. It was very cool. Very specific though, you guys. So keep in mind, if you're going to go with a very specific design that is tailored to you, down the road, that might affect your sales price because it's when it gets very, very, very specific. Like you have multiple cabinets and multiple. Different, I think there's 5 different colors. It looked like a crayon box in that kitchen. It took somebody very artsy to see that vision. The typical family is not going to be like, wait, why are there 6 different color cabinets in this kitchen?
Yeah. Well, and the first thing they're thinking is too, I'm gonna have to rip all this out.
Yeah, and
After I
then
buy it,
and then
you
we
know.
showed a gorgeous house. Yoli and I from our team showed a gorgeous $3.5 million house in Canyon Gate. And the cabinets, the entire kitchen, lowers, uppers, everything, the island, the entire kitchen was the color of your dress, Kristie. This deep, deep, deep blue. All the cabinets are deep blue, and then they had blue granite countertops. And it actually looked gorgeous. Would I have designed that and put that together myself? I would have never seen that vision. It looked beautiful, and the walls were white, but it was a lot of blue. It was a very big kitchen, but a lot of dark, dark navy blue, and you have to really, really like that. So that house was beautiful the way that they did it, but the rest of the house was very Venetian, so it didn't seem like it, I don't know, it didn't seem like it fit, but it was a gorgeous kitchen, but very particular. One of the guys from Pawn Stars, he had a house in the Ridges that we sold years ago, and he had that blue kitchen, but it was the, what's the paint you put on your car? Like
the matte?
But it was like shiny, it was like an acrylic
like
or something. Pearl? Yeah, and that was his entire kitchen, was done with that type of paint in the kitchen.
It looks like it's got like...
And it was a deep blue too, yeah. But I was like very, very specific, very manly. He lived alone, very manly kitchen. So
well, you can do the same thing. Now we're talking about paint right now and colors.
Yeah, colors.
But you could do the same thing with your flooring too. Like I've seen some tile flooring that was just like, wow.
Yeah, no, don't do that, please.
And that's a lot harder to change than the color of cabinets and walls.
Oh, for sure. I usually recommend to stick fairly neutral on floors. And it's really popular to do the same floor throughout the entire home.
Yes.
That makes it feel larger. Even if it is a large home to begin with, it minimizes the transitions, and then just add area rugs.
You're seeing a lot of like blonde vinyl. Like what is blonde still?
Well, the white oak I think is really popular.
I
think
you're
thinking of that.
Super popular in cabinetry and flooring. You see that constantly, and it's that natural white oak.
Isn't it funny when you tell people vinyl, they're like, I'm not putting linoleum in my.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and you're like,
I didn't
no.
say linoleum.
They're like luxury vinyl plank, you guys.
It's
totally
amazing.
different.
It really is, and you're seeing it in homes that are 300,000 and 6 million, and it's.
But I want to
like
tell you guys, from a real estate perspective, don't put the luxury vinyl plank in the super high-end homes. I mean, I just personally don't like it. I know some people don't mind, and please don't shoot me. But I don't. If you're walking into a home that's 3 million plus, 4 million plus, 5 million plus, I don't want to hear the air underneath me when I'm walking. I feel like you hear that, and I feel like it just comes off cheap. And we get a lot of complaints with clients like that. They're like, "Wait, why didn't they do tile? Why didn't they do wood? I don't want to hear the air." And so we've heard that a lot on these gorgeous remodeled homes. The luxury vinyl plank. I could be wrong, Kristie. Don't kill me. And maybe it's the way it's laid. I mean, I'm not a floor, layer.
You're
whatever.
not a floor layer?
I'm not. But if I can hear the air underneath it, I feel like it just lends like maybe the job wasn't done great or something. Yeah. Especially when you get to these multi-million-dollar homes. Again, I just feel like people expect more. And I'm only going off of what buyers are telling me. We're walking them through the homes and they're like, I don't like it because I can hear the air underneath it. I'm like, well, we could replace the floors. They're like, yeah, but they were just put in. So it's just one thing. I don't know, Kristie, you can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I like natural wood when it comes to that, or tile.
Yeah, especially in the higher end homes, you're definitely seeing more of the engineered hardwood or tile, of course. Not so much real natural stone for floors.
Yeah, not anymore,
kind of
right?
Pulling those out and putting in porcelain that looks like the stone, which is kind of ironic, but it's a lot less maintenance, which everybody loves.
Yeah.
But vinyl, I mean, to each their own. But I am putting it in a lot of homes in different caliber of homes. As far as the installation, of course, it needs to be installed right. And kind of to your point on what you hear, what your clients hear, usually that's why I'm not recommending laminate. So laminate's a very different material than vinyl, and that just kind of floats on the floor and it sounds clicky when you've got your heels. So I don't recommend that. But the vinyl, if you glue it down, you won't get that.
Okay, good. Feel. So that's the tip. You guys just heard it right here. If you're going to do vinyl, glue it down so you don't hear the air underneath it, because that makes a big difference. You guys, we can only tell you what realtors, what our clients say when we walk them through these homes, and we walk through hundreds of homes a month. Yep. And we can tell you what people are saying. Hey, this is what I want. This is what I don't want. I will tell you the other big thing when it comes to flooring that we're seeing is, especially when it's either the wood, I don't care if it's wood look or real natural wood floor, engineered wood floor, doesn't matter. When you do a little pattern in part of it, like either in the living room or down a hallway, and you do like the herringbone pattern or you do the chevron pattern, that gives a really high-end look style. Not through the whole floor. I mean, some builders do it in the whole house.
I like when they do those on the ceiling too.
Yeah, very cool. So stuff like that, you guys, just that little bit of pop. You want a little bit of pop that comes out. Super important to have that pop when you're going to look to remodel your house. So before we let this go, Daryl, is there anything else you would like to add to our interior design section here that we're going over?
No, I just, one of my brokers growing up that taught me a lot, taught me that, every house can be custom. Mm-hmm. Even a track house can be custom. And, it doesn't always take a lot of money to make your house custom.
I agree.
Takes a design and some detail, right? Yeah. Kristie, want to drop the mic and give us any little last minute tidbits before we get off the session here? And we're glad that everyone was able to listen and hear this.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate you taking me in today and, let me explain a little bit more of what I'm seeing out there in the design world. But, I think design is ever changing. So it's really, if it's not in style now, it will be soon.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what makes it fun, right? That it's never the same. Yeah.
It's never the same. So it's just fun. I love my job.
Well, and you can constantly refresh your home. One thing I will mention, I've been in my house 12 years. I've been in my house 12 years. We've remodeled the kitchen 3 times, you guys. And I'm talking full gut down to there wasn't a cabinet left in there. We redid electrical. We moved everything because I want to keep my house fresh and exciting each and every time. So you can do that by doing new design. Yeah. And now I'm looking at maybe Kristie needs to do something with me exciting for the 4th try. Let's do this. All right, you guys. Well, again, I'm Jillian Batchelor, Daryl Hannah. We're with Vegas Real Talk. Thank you so much for listening for this episode with Kristie. Kristie, thank you so much for being our guest. Reveal Interior Design. You guys will have her information on the podcast. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.